Video challenge day 2. This is the extended version from the High Status Summit Challenge from Craig Ballantyne. And principals are back again today, back in New York City after a great High Status Summit. And I just finished a TV episodic audition, and it went pretty well. It could have been better. And like anything else, you can always do a little bit better. You can always kaizen a little bit better. You can always be a little bit better than what you were before. That being said, of course, if you can execute any kind of things any better than you can, then that's what your goal is. And especially as an actor, your main responsibility is, can you deliver the line on camera in time and properly and over and over and over again. That's what you get paid for. So whatever business that you're in, there's certain fundamental things that you have to be able to execute and work on and deliver. So when it comes to closing, which I'm also starting my closing career with some other things in IG Agent and everything, ultimately it comes down to, can you execute? Can you deliver for your clients? And can you do what's necessary? So we're just going to talk a little bit today about the journey of what it takes to well, I just talk from experience, from being an actor in terms of delivering a line on camera. And maybe this will help you out in terms of whatever your business is and getting better in your life, hopefully. So typically what happens is I get called for an audition or contacted for an audition via my agent, or if I've self-submitted for work, then I get an invitation to audition either live or via video audition. And they send me the sides, which are the scene and the dialogue. And if it's a self-tape thing, then I have to set up a camera and either have an outside reader deliver lines that aren't mine, or I have to self-record myself and then kind of pitch shift things or edit things later so that my lines intersect with the other people's lines. So that's for live auditions. For self-tape auditions. For live auditions, you have to go in there and you basically do the same thing. You are reading against the camera, and whoever's doing the casting, whether it's a casting director or an associate, they will set up the camera, and you just have to go. And they will give you certain directions, certain adjustments, and that's what you have to do. So at the end of the day, you take your shots, you take your adjustments, and it's live. It's like any art. It's like music, live music, and it's like in business where you're dealing with people right then and there, and it's a live situation. There's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration in terms of state control and your body control and what the role is asking of you. And then that's it, man. You let it go, because you ultimately don't have any control over whether or not you're going to get cast or not. And we had said this before, that Jason had said that in any interaction, you really only have about 40% of control over the outcome, but you have 100% of control over that 40%. So that's what you prepare for, that's what you train for. In this case, as an actor. In any other business, like for example for closing, you want to make sure that you can handle objections, you can listen, and you can really clarify what the client or potential prospect is looking for. And you want to be knowledgeable about whatever business that you're involved in. So whether you're closing for a client that is doing health programs or high ticket items, you want to make sure that you have at least a semblance of a basic knowledge, if not more extensive, so that you can handle objections or clarify things for them and make it as easy for them to decide whether or not it's a proper thing in terms of proceeding or not. So that's the general audition process, at least in the first initial audition. And then sometimes you'll get what we call a callback as an actor, where you have to go and basically do the same thing, except that you're in the same room with producers and directors and maybe other actors, maybe casting associates or directors there. And then you have to see if you get cast or not. And once you get cast, then it's a whole nother thing in terms of delivering on camera and making sure that you're prepared and that you know your lines and that you know the character and the story and you can take direction. And that's basically my life as an actor on the performing side of it. And there's a lot more to this particular business of what I do. There's training involved. You want to make sure that you're working on your craft. So you're either reading or you're attending classes or creating content on your own. And then it's just the constant hustle of trying to find another gig, another opportunity to showcase your talents. And so this can relate to you in whatever business that you're doing, because there's three aspects of really any business. First part is, I'll work a little bit backwards here, is the actual execution of it. So whatever goes into that in real time, that's something you can work on. The other part of it is the preparation for the execution. And that includes education and learning more about your skill set, learning other skills like copy, closing, speaking, Facebook ads, pixels and funnel work, all these different things that a lot of the speakers have talked about at the High Status Summit. So going into that, that's the other part of it, is preparation in terms of knowledge and networking. And then the third part of it is what we call a bit of a mindset thing. So you want to make sure that you have your mindset right. You're taking care of yourself physically. That's also part of the preparation. So execution, education, preparation, and mindset, which comes down to a lot of state control. So one of the things that we do that I learned at the High Status Summit, which may be able to help you out, is what they call the state challenge. And this is where every 2 hours or 3 hours you reset your state, because a lot of times there's a saying that the body has knowledge that the mind doesn't know. So to activate that knowledge, you have to engage your body with power moves, as they say. So whether it's a fist bump or shouting out loud, there are certain things that you can do to increase your state and to be more prepared for it. So I got about 2 more minutes to talk. I'm almost back to my car. That's kind of how it is in New York as opposed to LA, where you have to walk around New York City. In LA, you don't walk around that much. So, but in LA, you're driving all the time. And there's lots of time to listen to self-help tapes and educational ideas and make your car into a walking university. You can do the same thing in New York City, taking the subway or walking, or in my case, I drive because I don't actually live in the city. I live in Jersey, but I'm in here a lot doing auditions and working. So I got about a minute left here, and the question I have for you guys is, what are the fundamentals in your business, from the execution stage of it, the preparation stage of it, the education stage of it, and the state stage of it? So the 4 stages, or the 4 points that we'd kind of gone over, and a lot of the stuff that we learned from the High Status Summit can go into improving one of those 4 states, or all 4 of them. So what were the 4 states that you have, the 4 different points in your business? And then if you did attend the High Status Summit, what is the one thing that you took away from it that you executed right away and that you implemented? For me, there were the 3 things. It was the Pedro's Koulian statement about the bitch mode versus the beast mode, that affirmation of I'm a badass. How am I badass? I'm a badass. And then the third one was that I'm a verb and not a noun. So comment below. Until next time, I'm Vincent Veloso. It's past 10 minutes. Be well. Keep taking ground. I'll talk to you later.